Welcome, Saxon community. We're going to do a take 2 here. Thank you for sticking around and waiting for our technical difficulties to be resolved, which actually seems a little ironic today. We want to welcome all of you to our first virtual Saxon Family Night, where we hope to present to you some information of our year, and then also give you a chance to answer, to ask some questions that we hope to answer for you. My name is Laura Tiffin. I am the principal at South Salem High School and happy to be here to welcome you this evening. If you would like to submit questions, you can do so by going to our website. And if you go to our southsaxons.com website and look at this event, in the description of this event is a form that you can fill out to submit questions to us. You also can use the QR code that you see on the screen, and we will then offer that QR code throughout the presentation as well. I'd like to introduce some other people who are here tonight to answer your questions, including Sarah Buchholz, our assistant principal, Cesar Bueno, one of our counselors, and Ryan Marshall, another counselor of ours. As you know, we've had quite a few changes in our school, in our community, in our city, our state, our nation, and globally. If you look at the screen, Saxon Man is a representation of our coronavirus, wearing his mask, and the fact that he joined me in our virtual announcements every Monday morning rather than doing them over the PA system live with all of our students in the building. We also have a major construction project going on where the north end of our building, known as the South Salem Annex, has been demolished, and very quickly the new addition is being built. And then most recently, as we are all aware still, given the air quality index, our community to the east of us and actually all around us is experiencing the ramifications of major fires. So we are adjusting, and we are doing the best that we can to try to mitigate all of the ramifications from all of the major changes going on around us. So one of those changes is that at this point we are opening up the year in comprehensive distance learning. And if you look at your screen, you can see that that is a temporary situation where once our metrics improve, we are going to be in a blended learning environment where our students are here actually at school part-time and they learn from home part-time. But for right now, everybody is learning full-time at home. The stages for re-entry to school are actually statewide stages that we will be following. And right now we are in stage 1. We're actually all looking forward not to stage 2, not even to stage 3, but we're looking forward to stage 4, where we can get back to blended learning. And there is a lot of data there on the screen to let you know what needs to happen in stage 4. Honestly, the way that I look at it is once we get down to 35 COVID-19 cases per week, then we will be looking at coming back to a blended learning environment. So that is our goal. We have chosen, based on input from families, to go with a 4x4 schedule for this year, rather than students being in 8 classes at a time, which was a bit overwhelming in the spring. We are going with 4 classes at a time. So every 9 weeks, students will take a different 4 classes. And then each of those 9 weeks is considered a quarter, because there are 4 of them throughout the school year, and each quarter is equal to 1 semester's worth of credit. So during that quarter, our students will have classes with teachers twice a week, and then they'll have what we call applied learning days twice a week. Their credit opportunities will remain the same for the year, so students will still be on track to graduate. For students in our Tuesday, Thursday cohort, they will actually attend 4 classes and their homeroom advisory class throughout the day. And those will all be facilitated by teachers. And then those who are in our Wednesday, Friday cohort will attend their teacher facilitated classes on Wednesday and Friday. On the opposite days, they will attend their homeroom advisory class, and then numerous learning activities that are assigned to them by their teachers. Our bell schedule for high school, and this is district-wide, is that class starts at 8:15 for first period. Each class is 85 minutes long, and then after first period, they will go to their homeroom advisory class to check in with their teachers, and this is where we provide a lot of school information. For example, today we provided some Canvas information. We'll provide the same tomorrow to help students navigate Canvas and Zoom. Once we get the technology down, we will use that time for some social emotional learning lessons, as well as just an informational time period where all of our students can hear directly from us what's going on. With all of the changes that are expected to happen throughout the year, this is going to be a really important time for all of our students to attend. And then you can see the rest of the schedule where we have second, third, and fourth periods are 85 minutes in length. Our lunch for students is actually 50 minutes to give them time to go to a nearby school if they need to pick up a grab-and-go lunch. And then you'll notice too at the end of the day, there is a 20-minute period in there for office hours if students need to get help from their teachers. Our students are divided, our 9th and 10th graders actually are divided into cohorts based on the requirements of the Oregon Department of Education. So our 9th and 10th graders are divided into what we're calling houses, and we're going with our school colors, scarlet red and Columbia blue. So our students who are in the Scarlet House are taking English, Social Studies, a world language, and an elective class right now. And then those who are in the Columbia House are in a math and a science class, either PE or health, and then an elective. Our 11th and 12th graders are all online for the first 2 quarters, and so they are actually not in houses right now. So what does that Applied Learning Day look like? Every other day, as I mentioned, students will have their Applied Learning Day, and on that day, they will attend a teacher-facilitated homeroom advisory class. That is every day from 9:45 to 10. The rest of that day, students can be assigned to read an article or rehearse with their instrument or work on an assignment, write an essay, watch a video, most likely all of the above. There will be a lot of different ways that our teachers are going to assign Applied Learning Day activities. For any information that you may need for South Salem High School, I highly recommend that you visit southsaxons.com. We have so much information on there, and any answers that you're looking for most likely can be found there. For those who are wondering, how do I get to Canvas? I can't get to Canvas. How do I log in? All you have to do is go to our website and click on the Canvas logo. And if you're on, this is actually when you open up your Chromebook, this is the screen that you should be able to see automatically. And then if you want to see what's inside of Canvas, if you click on the left-hand menu, you'll see courses, and that under there will list all of your different courses. They won't necessarily be in order of periods 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can check Student View to figure out which class is which period if it isn't obvious right here on the Canvas website. And then once you get into your courses, you'll see you'll have different icons on your and then that will be where you will see your teacher and your class. If you have questions, and we know we had numerous issues today with Canvas, with Zoom, with just being able to find a class, with Chromebooks shutting down. Definitely there were some challenges today. If you are struggling with any of those, my recommendation is to go to southsaxons.com and look for the Home Coach logo. And then if you go into that, there is a link for you to submit your question or your concern, and you'll actually be contacted by somebody in our technology department. For parents, our hope is that you stay connected with us. This is going to be a very interesting year, and I think that the only way that we are going to be successful maneuvering through it is if we all partner together to help our students be successful. One way to do that is just staying connected with us. So accessing our website, southsaxons.com, reading the monthly newsletter that we send out via our website, watching the videos that we're posting on the website. We hope to post videos at least once a week. You can join a booster club. And then you can also still check Parent View. If you have had a Parent View account in the past, it still works. If you need to get a Parent View account, you can just give our office a call at 503-399-3252. And through Parent View, you can check on students' grades, students' attendance, all of your child's information. In order to join a booster club, here is some information for you with email addresses and contact information. We have 3. We're very, very fortunate to have 3 booster clubs. The Saxon Foundation is an academic booster club. Our music booster club, as you can see there, is led by Mary Ellen Schofield, and our athletic boosters contact is Brittany Klein. It is now my privilege to welcome up to the podium Mr. Ryan Marshall, who will share with you some thoughts and ideas and information about our Saxon Counseling and Health Center.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. We're sorry again for the technical difficulties, including the slides that aren't currently showing. I have about 5 slides that I would have gone through tonight. Instead, I'll just give you the information as best as possible. The first is just to introduce our counseling team. We have 5 counselors here at South Salem, divided by your student's last name. For last names A through CR, your counselor is Tracy Isham. For your students with last names CU through HA, your counselor is me, Ryan Marshall. For students with the last name HE through MC, your counselor is Ben Handrich. For students with last names ME through R, your counselor is Cesar Bueno. And for students with the last names S through Z, your counselor is Wendy Anderson. Now, additionally, we do have a registered nurse on staff. Her name is Denise Proudfoot, and we also have a health assistant who they both are available for any students needing to access them. You can call our main line, 503-399-3252. In order to get a hold of us, especially if you're a counselor, the best way is through our website, southsaxons.com. Off to the left-hand side is a in order to access us best, you can go to southsaxons.com. Off to the left-hand side is a little button that says the counseling department. It'll take you to a screen or another site that now says Saxon Counseling, and there in the middle is a button that says student request to meet with your counselor. Now, parents, you're welcome to look at that and fill in a request as well. You will have to be logged in as a student, though, to do so. Again, you can access that through southsaxons.com. There's three main ways or reasons to talk to a counselor that we wanted to highlight. The first is for academic achievement, and that goes anything from students that are struggling with their grades, students that have questions about their grades, students that need help with their studies or are looking for a tutor. You're welcome to reach out to us with any questions there. We also have support that we offer for social and emotional needs that students might have. So feel free to reach out if those come up at all. And of course, we're here to help with college and career readiness, to help your student answer the question, what life looks like outside of our Saxon walls beyond graduation. So those are the three main reasons that you may want to access a counselor. And again, you can get us through our email, through the website, or also through giving us a phone call. We wanted to highlight a few recommendations for parents that might be interested in how do I survive all of this chaos, all of this stress. This is pulled from a recent informative brochure that came out to all of the counselors in the state of Oregon. And if you're anything like my wife or myself as a parent or guardian, you're probably experiencing just an unreal amount of stress, especially about an uncertain future right now. We often refer to this as anticipatory grief, and it's especially compounded by everything we've got going on in the world right now. So some fear is healthy and makes us vigilant. It certainly helps us take precautions, but sometimes too much fear can be debilitating. So again, here are a few ways to help prevent that. One is just to acknowledge productive and unproductive worries. When you face something that causes fear or worry, look to identify what the actual worry is and whether it's something that you can plan for or solve, or whether it just falls into that category of not being able to control. And if it's the latter, remind yourself that thinking about it and stressing about it won't have any impact on the outcome. Work to shift your thoughts onto something you can control. And again, focus on what you can control. We love predictability as humans. It's in our nature. Controlling what we're able to gives us an added sense of security. One way to do that is to make a schedule for yourself and your loved ones, including your students, that includes time for things you can enjoy. Of course, we always like to emphasize taking a break from news and social media and encouraging your students to step away from that electronic device. As much as we're asking that student to be tied to a Chromebook or a computer all year, it is healthy to put that down and just breathe that fresh air whenever it returns. And finally, we encourage you to advocate for your needs. You know your kids and you know your family best, so speak up if there's something about school that's going on that needs adjusting for your own circumstances. Please feel free to let us as a counseling staff know if you need to schedule an evening call to make sure that we're all on the same page. We also have some advice for students to ensure success. Of course, we want to encourage you to be engaged in online lessons and participate. We encourage you to study and complete your homework, as tempting as it might be. Partner with teachers and staff, and please, please, please give our staff the benefit of the doubt when your child comes home and complains about anything that's going on in our school. We invite you to be our ally, and we will be yours as well. We encourage you to attend office hours and ask for help. We encourage students to stay organized and manage their time this year, and any way that they can, find a space to work free of distractions. One of our counselors has created her small closet at home into her office, and that's her way of finding a work-free space away from kids. And finally, we want to welcome our class of 2024. This presentation is often geared for that freshman class. And so we want to encourage you to remember that this is a giant year of transitions, especially for you freshmen. Students are going to now be enrolled in mostly required classes. There are some electives, but that is part of the graduation process and requirements in the state of Oregon. There will be an increase in the amount of rigor and expectations in those classes, and those grades do go on a transcript as part of your permanent record. Students will definitely have more independence and become more self-reliant, which often will come with the temptation to, as a student or as your child, begin to test your limits and your trust. So be on the lookout for that. In the last slide tonight, I wanted to introduce our new College and Career Center coach, for our College and Career Center. Her name is Abigail Moscata. She joined us mid-year last year, and we can't wait for you to get to know her. If you at any time, especially you juniors and seniors, have questions about anything related to life outside of high school beyond graduation, Ms. Moscata is the expert in all things college and career related. So feel free to contact her. You've got her email address there on the website. And with that, I'm going to hand it back over to Mrs. Tiffin to talk a little bit about textbooks. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Marshall. We just want to let everybody know what to look forward to next week. We collected textbooks this week so that we could give them a little bit of time to be in quarantine themselves, and then we have reorganized those and we're ready to distribute those next week. So on Monday, you can see that what we're doing is actually offering the textbook distribution times at times where students are in their applied learning days. So my understanding is you can now see the slides on the screen, and I apologize. Earlier I thought you could and I did not realize that you couldn't. So if you would like to see the slides that I thought you were seeing, when we post this on our website, we will include those slides and try to mix them in with the audio. This textbook pickup schedule will also be on our website, so you can see the right time to come and pick up your textbooks. And we ask that you please do stick with these times as closely as you possibly can, so that we can remain physically distanced. And then notice from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock, that's our last call for the day, and it typically is a pretty quiet time if you'd like to avoid the lines. We also have put together some pretty complex plans for when it is time to return to the building. We have done extensive planning in order to come back to school, hopefully at the end of first quarter in mid-November. And those plans include staggered passing times. They include smaller class sizes so that we can remain socially and physically distanced inside the classroom. We have very strict cleaning protocols in place. Lunches will be in our classrooms, and the list goes on and on. So we have started those plans. My guess is that they will be revised a little bit in October and November as we prepare to come back, and we will solidify those plans and make them public to you so that you feel comfortable sending your students our way. It's now, at this point, an opportunity for you to ask questions, and we have a great list of questions here, and some of you are helping me to clarify some things that I may have missed earlier. One of the questions that was asked was, do students attend homeroom and advisory on Mondays? Thank you for asking that question. It sounds like I may have said that wrong. Students attend homeroom advisory Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, but not on Mondays. We also had a great question of, will our students have a chance to make up whatever they missed today if they missed due to connection issues? trust me, your student was not the only one who missed due to connection issues. We also had teachers who were struggling to get their Zoom to work today. So yes, students will be allowed to make up their work, and if there was any assigned. Many of our classes today spent time just getting to know each other and building that community within their classroom. There is a question about whether juniors will take the PSAT this fall, and actually we are not going to have the PSAT offered this fall. Instead, we are going to take the College Board up on their offer to take it later in the year, in hopes that some of our restrictions will have been lifted by then. So I believe we are scheduled for January at this point. And we will get that information out to our juniors so that they can sign up in plenty of time. The next question actually may be better for Mr. Marshall, and that talks about where exactly do students choose their electives for their needs class. And I will, actually we have a few questions here about schedules, so let me ask those questions of Mr. Marshall. Students choose their electives for their needs classes?
We had a window about 2 weeks prior to school starting where that would be an opportunity to submit, but now we do not, and so the best way to submit those is through email, reaching a counselor by email. Does that clarify?
Great. My child's schedule still has holes in it. When will that be fixed?
The question was, your student's schedule still has holes in it, and when will that be fixed? Please alert us. We're working on that every day, all hours. We are trying to fill holes in student schedules. So if we have not contacted you, please contact us.
I think that is it as far as schedule.
Okay.
We have a few questions on here about the EDGE program, and we won't be covering information about EDGE. I hope that they will have a family night available for everyone, and you're welcome to contact them to ask about what the date is for that. But if a student is in the EDGE program, they do go by the EDGE schedule and not the South Salem schedule. Great question. We also had a question about how do the kids know which cohort they're in? Great question. And that actually can be accessed through Student View. If they go to their Student View account, they can see, they will see either Tuesday, Thursday, or Wednesday, Friday. There is a question about our IB classes, and is there any plan to address conflicting schedules for IB classes? It appears that a student is not able to take the IB classes she wants to because they are offered at the same time. Great question. When we went from 8 classes per semester down to 4, scheduling got a little complex. And so throughout the year, a student is still able to take the all the classes that they need to get the IB diploma. They just can only take 4 at a time. There are a very, very few cases where there are conflicts with a student's schedule, and our counselors are working those out one by one to make sure that a student can take all of his or her their IB classes so that they can still get their diploma. And if you're in that situation, you should be hearing from a counselor very soon to clarify how that's going to work out. The question was, what is the family time that's on the schedule? And that is on Mondays in the afternoon. We have scheduled time for our staff members to reach out to families to try to connect to them if we haven't heard from a student. So if a student is not attending homeroom advisory or a student isn't attending classes, we've set aside some time for us to reach out to families to try to figure out how we can help out with that situation. will language classes be year-long or only a quarter? And our language classes are year-long, but each quarter is equal to a semester. So our language classes that are year-long actually last 2 quarters. And I know that seems really confusing, but a semester is 9 weeks long. So a year is 18 weeks long. So our language classes will be offered in 18-week periods. Great question about will we have any clubs? And the answer is yes, absolutely. Our plan is to try to put all of our clubs online and hold them virtually. So for example, our DECA student leaders have already started to put their entire program online so that anybody and everybody can access it from home. Our speech and debate leaders are doing the same thing, and all of our other clubs are trying to follow. So we do hope that all of our students will take advantage of our numerous clubs. They are going to look a lot different here in the fall, but we still hope to make them a lot of fun. Will there be any fees to pay at textbook pickup next week? That is a really good question. I don't believe so, unless you have fines or fees to pay from last year. We will have our bookkeeper available to accept those payments. Other than that, though, we will have textbooks, and we will have some kits available, such as art kits for our students who are in art class. Great question about why do students have to attend advisory on the days when they don't have classes? And there actually are a couple reasons for that. One is that we have a lot of information to share with our students, and that information changes on a daily basis. So if they miss in advisory, they may not know what is happening the next day during their teacher facilitated classes. So that is one reason. We also want to make sure that students are connecting to school, and the best way to connect is to actually attend and meet with a teacher on a daily basis. So that is one reason, or a couple reasons. Also, I saw a question here, and I'm not seeing it right now. I may have skipped over it, of about our, let me see if I can find it. Will there be teacher contact other than an advisor on the non-cohort days when we go to blended learning? Now, let me see if I understand that. On the non-cohort days, so on the applied learning days, will there be any other contact from other staff members? And we are actually setting up a tutoring service where students can access adult tutors if they need help. We are looking at other systems to help students out during that blended learning phase of our year as well. I'm not sure if I'm answering that question right, so do feel free to email me, and I'm happy to answer that one directly to you. There was a question about the EDGE program, and we have quite a few of our students who are attending EDGE this year, and I think the best people to make the EDGE presentation would be the actual principals of EDGE. So we are focusing on South Salem High School right now, but we're hopeful that EDGE will offer their own family night within the next week or so. Great question. Well, we have to make up days later in the year for this late start, and we do have requirements by the state of Oregon that require us to be in school for a certain number of minutes. Right now, at this very second, we are within that timeline. So we are hopeful that there won't be any days that we have to make up later in the year, but we will obviously give you a great amount of notice if we're in that situation. The question is, for clubs, how will students find out about the clubs? Do they have to go to the website always? The website is very busy, and you're right, it is very busy. We have a lot going on. My recommendation is to always go there because that is where we put all of our information. For club information, our advisors are just now redeveloping their programs so that they can be accessed virtually, and then all of their information will be on the website. And let me make sure that I haven't missed any questions. There is a question about, do students have to follow the exact same schedule on their applied learning days that they follow on their teacher facilitated days? And the answer is no. Those days actually can be paced the way that you want them. So on your applied learning days, you do need to attend homeroom advisory, but the rest of the day can be planned and organized in whatever way works best for you. So for some of us, it's much better to stay on a schedule and have a structured day in which you may want to just follow the timeline, be ready for school at 8:15 and go to first period at 8:15 on your own for applied learning day and follow that same schedule. And then for some of you, you may have other responsibilities on that day, and you may want to work on your homework and your independent learning at different times of the day. And that is absolutely fine. That's part of the flexibility with the comprehensive distance learning that we are in right now. So I would just like to thank all of you for attending tonight. Thank you for being patient as we worked through our audio problems and then we worked through our visual problems. Like I said, we do hope to post this on our website and make both audio and visual available at the same time. Meanwhile, I hope everyone enjoys your evening, and thank you for being a part of the Saxon community. Thank you for partnering with us. We are really looking forward to the year. It was so exciting to have students, even though we weren't in the building today, to have students on the screen and have teachers actually getting to connect with our kids. It felt like the first day of school, even though it was very different. So let's hope for a few more connections tomorrow with fewer technological challenges. And we are just looking forward to partnering with you for the rest of the year. Thanks, Saxon community. We'll be in touch soon. Have a good evening.